Hello and welcome to The Regulars. I'm Stacey McGonigal.
I'm Jason Ross.
Oh,
Bonjour.
bonjour, comment ça va? Ça va bien, merci.
Et vous, stylo cahier.
Oh, pamplemousse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I've run out of things. We're here. It's Monday. Jason, how are you?
Amazing.
Oh, really?
I think so. Yeah. I mean, come on. I don't want to spoil it, but we all know we have a fun guest today.
We
So my Monday morning is great.
Our Monday morning is great. We've asked her to be in the background and not to say a damn word.
That's right.
But let's just get into it. Shall we just introduce our guest of our guest today? She is like the MVP of our chat. She is an Instagram superstar. We would be nothing without her. Comedian extraordinaire, the star of our movie Monday. Let's give it up for the one, the truly only, and that is Jan Caruana, everybody. Hello, Jan.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, killing it.
You look so adorable, and these glasses, I truly want to murder you for them.
Thank you. Well, they're just like dollar store readers.
They're
I just need them
perfect.
for close up.
They're perfect. And it reminds me because I was watching Friday Night Lights last night, and there's a scene where Connie Britton's like in a Shoppers or some sort of like, CVS, and she's trying on readers, and that's when she sees her daughter's boyfriend buying condoms. So, yeah, but it made me think, oh, my readers, Jan's readers.
Well, you know what? I 2 years ago, I think I got laser surgery because I used to wear glasses full time.
Oh, yeah.
And then I got laser surgery, and then my close-up vision just went bye. So I got these, and what I love about these, other than like wearing actual glasses, is that you can do a lot of like,
Oh, I love that.
I don't want to be the one to tell you this, but like you get to do a lot of like really like dramatic stuff with them. So
They're
I
great.
feel like they're rom-com glasses. Like you're at a coffee shop and then someone looks across and notices you and you kind of catch them looking at you too with those glasses.
Now, this is people might be wondering why I'm in the middle of this frame, and it's because Jason is truly obsessed with Jan that I have to provide some sort of distance between the two of them, even if it's
Sorry.
over the internet. Like
Social distancing.
the way you talk to Jan is like the way you talk to an angel. Like it's delicate. You don't know how long she'll be around you for, so you don't want to like push or pull in any capacity.
I've known Jen for a long time.
Oh my God, you can't stop
I
smiling.
love Jason. So Jason is like one of my very first improv experiences that I remember because
Really?
I don't know if
That's
you remember
weird because
Jen.
it's the other way around for me when I was like, this woman is obviously so seasoned and amazing at improv. And I was like, I told you about this. I think it's when you were doing a show at, what's that place called? Oh my God, now I don't remember the street. It's like a cafe. You had to go upstairs. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's on
No.
Euclid, maybe not Euclid.
Oh no. Oh, the
Anyways,
Victory Cafe.
the Victory Cafe, and you were upstairs, and then all of a sudden you walked into the audience and was doing this Shakespearean thing, and you were treating it like we were all kind of there and as audience members, and I was like, what is happening? But I feel like I'm so immersed in this show.
Wow.
That is so nice. But I don't know if you remember this, Jason, but you and I did what was my very first Second City touring company audition together.
No.
I do
And
remember.
we did a scene about robots, and then you just had my heart for basically the rest of my life.
Oh my
I don't
God.
remember the robot scene. I remember the archery scene where you guys were calling me your archery teacher, and then but you weren't taking me seriously. And then I was like, "Is it because of the tights? Is it because I'm wearing tights?"
That sounds more like the relationship, but but for sure we did a thing where we were robots. I can't remember if we were in love or I don't remember what it was, but I remember riding the subway home and was like, that guy,
That guy.
Great.
the guy.
I
didn't
remember
get
that
it.
audition. I was actually going to bring that up today as soon as you started talking about that. I was like, "Yeah, we had our first audition together."
That's
Yeah,
so
that's the only
sweet.
thing I remember.
You guys, for me, are just like you've always been in love with each other. You've always understood each other. Jan's always telling people to be kinder to Jason. But we hardly ever listen. But
It's also though, but we
Especially
also
you.
have two
yeah,
beautiful partners, and I think I can speak for Jen. Anyways, she doesn't care how much I say I love Jen. She's like, I love her too.
like Jason's.
Hates it.
Oh, Sheldon's the
I bring
best.
up Jason's name and he just goes,
his days are numbered. And you know that Jason would be like, Sheldon, I would never. We're like, yeah, we know. I would never. I think even if like there was a moment like it's raining and you're on a dock and Jan's going, why didn't you read my letters? You know, and like and there was a moment where you two would smooch. In my mind, Jason feels you're too beautiful and perfect that a kiss from him would damage the perfection that is you. And I feel like that tracks. Jason, am I wrong?
We kissed like almost every night for like 6 months, didn't we? Did we kiss in that last egg?
Yeah, you kissed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't remember. I thought you were gonna say. I was trying to think of the scene, and I was like, was it Spanish soap opera? But I guess we didn't.
I think it was Last Egg.
It was Last Egg. It was such a beautiful scene of like your last egg. And after that day, you wouldn't be able to have kids. It's one of my favorite
it.
scenes. It was really beautiful. And so sad when it was like your final night. Oh God. So sad. But beautiful. But anyways, that's why I have to be in between them because the sexual chemistry is palpable.
You're too much, Stace.
Well, I decided to wear a fun cardigan. I'm unsure about the neck of this shirt, but I did I did watch Mean Girls this weekend, Jan, and I'm so thankful that you wanted to talk about it because I know, I mean, I'm sure people ask you about it all the time.
There's already people in the chat. They're already in motion talking about it.
There's something about this movie that holds up beyond anything, and like
There's a couple things that don't hold up, but for the movie holds up.
yeah, totally.
There's stuff that's because full disclosure, I did not watch it again.
Nor should you. You lived it.
I think I've seen it like 2 times in my whole life.
Oh, that's it?
Mm-hmm.
Jan, it's so crazy when you put your name into Google. Like, you are a meme. You're like a famous meme. And like, I was working on like, yeah, it's so crazy. You're famous. Yes.
No. That movie is famous. Like that movie, people really like that movie is like The Breakfast Club. That movie is like Ferris Bueller.
Mm-hmm.
And that has nothing to do with me other than the fact that like I played like I was a very small cog in that very big machine as any movie. But like people come up to me and they get very emotional about that movie.
Really?
Wow.
I can see that because I'll tell you, like, I'm not just saying this because you're my friend, but when I watched that movie, my favorite parts of it, like, of course, it's like, it wasn't Lindsay Lohan and like the crew. It was like you, Steph Drummond, like the external characters in that movie. I was like,
The little guy that runs the mathletes.
oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
What's his name? Kevin?
Kevin Napur?
Yeah, Kevin.
I can't remember what his name. And then he like rips his shirt off.
He does it.
Because he gets a math answer, right?
No, that's when you guys won. He's like, how you like me now?
But like, it just was like, that is the real life. Like, that's real. Like, even down to like, what's his face? Tim
Meadows.
Tim Meadows with like the cast and stuff.
Yeah.
It just was so perfect. Like, it's so specific.
But
Yeah.
that's the brilliance. That's the brilliance of like Tina Fey and I guess Mark Waters too, who directed it. Because like I remember, so when I got that part, it was my very first audition.
Unbelievable.
With my agent, my very first agent, my very first audition.
Wow,
like,
good percentage, home run.
Yeah, and then didn't book anything for like 8 years. But
Should have retired, just like that guy in that Field of Dreams, that Moonlight Graham that hit one hit and that was it. He
was like, goodbye, I'm
have
done.
you ever seen that movie?
Actually, I have.
Wow.
I've never seen it. I've never seen it.
Wow, we got one.
Don't know if it holds up. Don't know.
But yeah, but like, and then I remember like booking it, and every time you book something, you don't really know, like you don't always get all the information. So I didn't know it was Tina Fey. I knew Mark Waters had done some like kind of smaller indie films, but then I read it and I was like, holy cow, this is so funny. And it's just funny because like, watch any Tina Fey thing, like Kimmy Schmidt, 30 Rock, it's just all one-liners.
Yeah.
Like she just writes 40 one-liners, and then if like 2 of them get in, like there's still gold. Like
It's so funny.
Well, someone in the chat already put that there's so many one-liners that you catch new ones every time. Well, they didn't say new, but like it feels like you catch new ones every time.
I remember reading it and then just crying, laughing. and we were talking about this before, but I was living with our friend Lauren Ash, and she was like, "What?" And I was like, "There's a line, and a guy is in the girl's bathroom, and then he calls a girl Danny DeVito." It's like crying, laughing, just reading the script, and then to see it executed like so many months and months later was like incredible.
It's kind of crazy too because it's kind of serendipitous that we watched it and we're talking to you because I just watched RuPaul's Drag Race, an episode of it, and Daniel Faison and what's his name?
Yeah,
Aaron
Samuels.
Amos,
Oh my God,
Aaron
I can't
Samuels.
even blank on
But
his
like
names.
their credits, and I'm sure they've done other things, but like they're just credited as the guys from Mean Girls. Like still, it's kind of
Still.
it's wild. And then they both did like, you know, quotes from the movie. Like it's just
Well-
unbelievable.
Was Donald Faison in?
He was Danny
Mean
DeVito.
Girls?
I think I think his name was Daniel Frazen. I
Frazen.
think.
Oh,
Donald
because Daniel
Faison-
Faison is from Clueless.
Yes,
That's the
sorry,
guy from
Daniel
Clueless.
Frazazi or something.
Something. Yeah.
Something.
Whew. I was
He
like, man, I'm way off.
You really watched the wrong movie.
Yeah, well. This is unrelated, but YouTube is now like releasing movies on Fridays for free so you can watch movies, but like what they're releasing, I'm sure we all own or is on some sort of streaming platform. Like they're releasing Hunger Games, Dirty Dancing, like on Fridays you can just watch it and like chat. But anyways, I've lost my point, but I think it dealt with one of them. I think one of the movies they're in or something. I don't know. It'll come back to me. I've lost my mind.
Oh, but
It's
Well,
Monday.
I wanted to tell you that I watched that Dirty Dancing, like how did this get made or whatever.
Yes.
That's not what it is, but whatever it is on Netflix.
Yeah.
And it was so good. And
Yeah.
I watched it because of you guys.
Well, Nigel was saying it. I had seen it before too, and Nigel's in the chat right now, and he said Last Egg is a classic. By the way, that's so sweet.
Oh, so sweet.
And but it's so crazy, Dirty Dancing, like the history of that movie, where like those two women like are now millionaires because of
Yeah.
the back end deal they did because they're business ladies. And I liked the writer because I related to her because she kept saying she wasn't like a horny like she's not like a horny like queen of the horniness, and she is like she just wrote a movie about her being super horny and wanting to have sex with everyone.
She's like, did I go to the Catskills every year for summer? Yes.
Yes.
Did I fall in love with an older dancer there? Of course. Did I facilitate an abortion? Yes.
Yes.
Is this movie about me? Absolutely.
It's unbelievable. And their offices, their offices are carpeted by choice. It's like like she just chain smokes in there. But anyways, you guys
What
got
a detail.
But you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it's thick. Her office is so just with so much paper everywhere. She's like, it's not about me. It's never been about me. It's not. Do I love a sexy dancer? I want to talk about it. Yeah. Did I grind with dancers in my basement? Of course I did.
Did he lift me up over his head and did me? Yes.
Yes, he did.
Did I carry a watermelon? Many. This movie is not about me.
Was my nickname Baby? Yes, it was. Was I unmoving in that fact? Of course. But it really, yeah. I'm just like, you know what? I should just like channel my horniness for all of this and just write my own flick. And it's called Kissing, Kissing, More Kissing.
Yeah.
Yeah, dare I say. Anyways, that's just a little Dirty Dancing walk. At one point, we will watch that movie and we'll all just want to make out with each other. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
We have to wait till the quarantine is over and we can have access to lips.
Yeah, you know what I feel like is going to happen after the quarantine? It's going to be like a theater school rap party. Like we're all going to leave and we're all just going to be waiting to make out.
Everybody's going to be sweating through their shirts.
Like me in
me in
Animal
Animal
Crossing. Yeah.
I just realized that was something we had just talked about.
Well, I'll bring it up because no one asked, but we will. So I've been playing Animal Crossing, and I'm noticing that a lot of people are having interactions with their neighbors, which are computers, not real people, giving them wallpaper, giving them cute things, giving them nice things. My one neighbor, Renee, keeps saying, I'm around a lot, doesn't want to talk to me. And you have an option to say, keep chatting. Cause I'm like, I'm going to keep chatting. Maybe she'll give me something. And she goes, I got to go. She leaves. The option is there to chat, but she leaves. There's also a guy named Biff. Okay. And he works out a lot. And he keeps calling me squirt, which I find demeaning. And then he goes, hey, you're sweating through your shirt. And I was like, what are you, my bus driver from high school? Get out of here. Which is a thing that happened.
Stacy, even
Oh my
in
God.
artificial life, just gets the shit end of the stick with dealing with people.
Yeah, and like you get presents from the sky, and I just I got a cardboard cutout of a dinosaur and a fucking skull record player. I can't with
They
it.
think you're 14.
Those-
They think you're like
those
a
sound
10-year-old
cool.
boy.
I know
That
they think
sounds
I'm just a
great.
little boy, but anyways, I can't. But so I guess like Jason, I guess we should ask Jan, just like get it out of the way. Like, was there any George Clooney-esque pranks on set? Because this is what Jason's here for.
You know what's so funny is that so there was a woman, and again, I should have looked this up before I came on, but there was a woman. The woman, she played the little person
Yep.
in the movie,
Mhm.
and so we all kind of formed this like weird girl group.
I love that.
Like we kind of became this like weird like wolf pack because we were all there on the same days, and we all had a lot of days, which was like mind blowing to
Well,
me.
you're great friends with Steph.
With
still.
Stephanie Drummond,
Were
yes.
you good friends before this, or was this the glue that brought you together?
Well, yes and no. So like Stephanie and I went to the same university, same theater school, but she was like 2 years younger than me. And then when I graduated from university, I was working with a small theater company and cast her in A Midsummer Night's Dream.
No way.
So we worked together for a whole summer, and I always really liked her. We were always like convivial and whatever. But then when
Whoa.
we found out that we were on this movie together, we were both at base camp, which is where all the trailers are. And both of us, I saw her and she saw me, and we just went like, ah, and like ran to each other. And then the woman who plays Joan, the secretary, because like when you get onto a movie set, like especially when it's your first time and especially when it's huge, you don't really know like where to go or what to do. Like no one is there to
No.
greet you to say like, go over here. You really have to
Mhm.
find somebody to be like, what do I do? So the woman who played Joan, the secretary, Sharon Matthews, a lovely woman, she saw us and she was like, come on, we're going to find the craft truck. And then basically took us under her beautiful wing.
That's so nice.
Just took care of us. So we formed this like weird girl group, and like the woman who I was referring to before, Jackie was her name. Jackie would always be like, guys, I heard some gossip. And we'd be like, what? And she was like, there's chicken for lunch. Like it was always so like,
I love a scoop.
oh my God. And she was always like trying to like get us to do like hijinks. And we were like, what do you think we're going to do here? But one time, I think you'll appreciate this, Jason. And I don't know why I did it, because I'm not this person. It was Rachel McAdams' birthday.
Oh,
And
hello.
They brought a cake to set, and I just happened to be standing beside her. And she was like the nicest person, so gracious. And she went, oh, this is so nice. And I don't know why I said this, but I said something about like, my deep belief in God. I said something like to joke that I was just like extremely religious.
Oh my God.
She was so respectful, and she was like, oh, that's so interesting. And it was like, I don't know why I just said that. I'm totally joking. And we had a really big laugh, but then I was just like, why would you do this? Like, why would you like try and prank this person you don't even know? Who's like a big movie star.
Well, she wasn't a big movie star at that point.
But she had done movies. Like she was the star of this film. And
But
like,
she was in that Rob Schneider movie before then, and then that was it, no?
that's one more movie than I was in, girl.
Oh, hell
Tell
yeah.
you.
Fuck.
No, it is funny when you like really just put yourself out there in a joke capacity, and then you're like, what am I doing? Like, this is not the crew to
But
be
also,
doing.
I do love this. Like, just to be like, I'm extremely religious. But a lot of my like probably pranks, and I won't say pranks because they're not pranks, but like
Well, because
moments
you already
like that
okay.
are completely unintentional as well. Where you're like, what? Why did I just say? Why did I? I have no filter, so it's like.
I also love the choice to prank her on a religious belief.
No.
To our Lord and Savior, whoever he is. I'm sorry, I don't know who that is.
So do we all hold hands now and say grace?
And it was something like that, but it just like gave the effect that I was like deeply into God.
That's so
And,
funny.
yeah, but she was just like so sweet and kind and respectful about it. Like what would she be? What would she do? But like, anyway, yeah, that was my
That's
one
That's
prank.
great.
That's so funny. I love that so much. What were the assemblies like? Was that just hell on earth to shoot? Anytime I see an assembly, I'm like, they were sitting there for hours.
We were sitting there for quite a few hours, and there were a few days, to be honest, where like I didn't even get on set. Like it was an actor's dream because like
Well, I love
you'd show
those.
up very early for a call, and then they'd be like, we might not get to you today." So you just got to like try not to sleep on your face in your trailer. But those days
Craft tables.
actually,
Love
the
those.
craft table, yeah. Um, those days were not too bad. The only one day that was like a little bit uncomfortable was when we all had to be wet.
Oh yeah.
So it was awful. And this is the
Was
thing,
this
like
when Tim Meadows was like hit the fire
Yeah,
alarm with his baseball bat?
Yeah.
yes, yeah.
To cool
So
everyone off.
we all
Someone
had
had
to
mentioned a one-liner from this where he's like, "I didn't move from the South Side for this." It's great.
yeah.
I think it's funny. Not even the one-liner. Him just grabbing a baseball bat to be like,
To
"I'm gonna-"
water down the
He
youth.
thinks that he's lean on me in a school that doesn't need lean on me.
It's just a bunch of girls being mean to each other. And
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh, hell no."
Yeah, totally. Oh, hell no. Steph Drummond, I remember had like, oh, sorry, I just cut you off. You were telling
Oh,
the
that's
story.
okay.
No.
For people that don't know Steph Drummond, she's wide set vagina. That's the
Yes.
character she plays.
She's
Jason.
Betsy Bird. She has a wide set
Jason.
vagina.
Yeah, thank you, Jan. Jason, you can't just say
If
Steph
you mention the
Drummond.
character's name, people are still gonna be like, "I
No,
don't know which
but
character that is."
You've created a sad soundbite for her now. Steph Drummond is wide set vagina.
It's only a soundbite if you make it a soundbite.
And I
It's
will.
not a
And I'll
soundbite.
send it to her and say, this was your friend. Now I'm your real friend.
She's great. I love Steph.
Steph's the best.
She is the best. She's such a lovely, caring, kind person.
You
Yeah.
both are. Like you together, I just feel like I'm holding on for dear life. When you go, I go because I need a reference to get into wherever you're going.
This is a huge term, but I'll bring it up just so I don't forget it later. Because two beautiful people together. You're also doing another show right now with Pat Thornton, who's
Yes.
so beautiful as
Everyone-
well as a person.
Everyone
you're
needs to
doing it-
watch it. Go ahead.
Well, it's about
really fun.
Jeopardy.
Mhm.
But
Do you want to talk
Anyways.
about that for a second so people can set their calendars for later today?
Sure. So we it airs every day at 6:30, and it's basically Pat and I and our lovely producer Dan Gallia, who does so much more work than we deserve on the show. He produces it, and basically Pat and I watch an episode of Jeopardy that is on Netflix right now. We're on episode 13 of the Seth Wilson collection, and we watch an episode of Jeopardy and then we talk about it. And that's basically it. But it's hilarious because we've had Seth Wilson on our show,
Mm-hmm.
Jeopardy champion Seth Wilson. And tomorrow we're having one of the like winningest champs on the show as well. And his name is Austin.
Cool.
If you watch, he'll be on the show tomorrow. And it's just funny how it kind of evolved because like, not to speak for Pat, but he's also expressed this, but like we both kind of feel that like Jeopardy is kind of like the one constant in our lives.
Mhm.
And in a time of so much kind of like emotional upheaval and, you know, like to quote you guys, like having soft days,
Mhm.
to just have Alex Trebek in your life
It's so
on
nice.
the regular. It's so nice.
that Canadian, that fun Canadian.
Yeah.
That sexy, full mustachioed Canadian treasure. Yes. That was
Tom
a
Selleck's
perfect.
geeky brother. Yeah.
He's not Tom Selleck's geeky brother. You know what
Yeah.
Alex Trebek is? Alex Trebek is like the man who like stands up, puts his suit jacket on, and drops the credit card and goes, "Have a great night." You know what I mean? He's that kind of guy. He drops the credit card. Do you know what I mean?
Alex Trebek would see you like crying outside of a restaurant because you've got like kind of like ceremonially dumped.
Yes.
And then he'll like put you in a cab and just hand the guy like a 50 and be like, take her wherever she needs to go.
1,000%. Tom Selleck would be like, "Hey, baby, you want to get in?" And I'd be like, "No, not today, Tom."
I don't know. I feel like he'd be the one that would do that. He would put his suit jacket on, and he would just straighten himself up and be like, "Whew, "That body's buried," and then he'd walk away.
Oh, Jason. Oh my God.
Nefarious Trebek. I never even thought about it.
You know what this is like? Again, I'm just taking a little walk. I think I'm the Jason of the episode today, and But I was reading like a BuzzFeed article today. Are they even articles? Whatever. It was a soft quiz, and it was just saying like the best montages, which I love a movie montage, which this movie has many that I really enjoy. Like when she cuts the shirt, like the nipples, and she's like sick. Anyways, it was like the best music. Anyways, one of them was 500 Days of Summer. Do you guys remember that movie?
I do.
With
I have a problem with that movie, but yeah.
what? Because is the problem you haven't seen it?
No. I've seen it. Do you want me to get into it?
No, I'd like to finish my story and then we can get into your
'cause I was
problem
gonna
with
say,
it.
I keep cutting people off, so I want.
No,
I
I'm
know
cutting
what
everyone
to
off. So my problem was I loved that movie so much, but I had blacked it out of my mind, and then it came to fruition today. I don't know if you have those where you're like, oh wait, I forgot that this happened to me. I watched 500 Days of Summer with a boyfriend. We left the movies, and he dumped me outside of it because
Good.
he, huh?
do. Yes, that really speaks to the point. Yes.
He dumped me at Young and Dundas.
Got it.
Young and Dundas, he dumped me, and he was just like, "This isn't gonna work." And I was like, "How am I gonna get home?" I was like, "What?" And I knew he was gonna dump me too, and he did. Okay, Jason, what's your point?
But do you dump before the movie? Then if you're like, oh, we're going out, I'm gonna break up with her.
No,
just
I
don't
think
know.
the movie
You know
made
what would
him
be awesome
realize
to
we
do
were
it, like,
done.
in the middle of the movie. Hey,
What?
I didn't know whether to do this before or after. It feels like a real Larry David moment, so it feels like this would be right up Stacey's alley. I didn't want the awkwardness before, and then we don't see the movie because I already bought the tickets. But after, what, we just walk away? So like,
Yeah.
it's over.
But it's not like he had the tickets. It's not like this was like Jurassic Park and you guys like pre-bought the tickets. Like,
Yeah.
this was 500 Days of Summer. Like he could have just been like, you know what? I don't really feel like going to a movie. Let's go for a walk.
But I think he watched the movie and realized, because it's about breaking up and like recognizing like maybe they're not the one for you. And I think he watched that and then looked at me while I was mowing down a large pecorn by myself and was like, this bitch has got to go. And then after that movie, he broke up
the
with
only
me.
one this happened to. Because
I don't think
this is
so.
a Stacey thing. I think this is that movie.
You think it makes people want to break up with people?
Yeah.
Why?
So my thing with this movie was like I was getting kind of fed up with like the movies in general being like, why don't they ever make a movie where it just doesn't have a happy ending? Like, why don't they just? And then this movie happened, and I was like, well, I got what I wanted, but now I don't know if I want that.
Of course, and that's the Duras story. Mom,
That's ordering oysters at an Italian restaurant.
hell,
right there.
oh, that's Jason. Oh my God, every time,
That's yeah.
every time.
Habanero oysters on a pancake?
No,
Yeah. Yeah, all right.
and we're like, Jason, this is a cereal bar. We're just eating cereal here. Yeah,
Oh, the Zeller's cafeteria has a shrimp cocktail.
I think we should. We're here. We should. Come on, we should.
The only one left.
Oh, I gotta go up that weird escalator that's not stairs? Okay.
The Movator.
Yeah, yeah. Anyways, guys, what was
Oh, I miss Zellers. Oh my God.
Zeller's always had that smell of like, is the glue just about to dry everywhere?
Smellers.
Smellers. I love it. It is a Smellers. I used to miss the Byway because we had a Byway and then the Byway got bought out by Giant Tiger. And
Our byway was Bargain Harold's. Do you remember Bargain Harold's?
no,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're a little young.
thank you.
We had Byway was one of my first jobs.
Really?
Just folding damn t-shirts at Byway all night.
I was always jealous of, and I come from a small ass town, but I was always jealous of like the Byway Giant Tiger people because it's just like when I was younger, because I was like, oh, they're like folding clothes. Like I didn't have a concept of like an H&M
Oh, you were
or
jealous
like,
of the people that worked there. You wanted to work there.
yeah, because it was like a cool like clothing store. Like where was I gonna go? I was like 12, and it's just like girls chewing gum, like folding like spaghetti strap tanks, and I was like, whoa.
I will tell you, Stacey, everyone was deeply unhappy.
Of course. Now I have, oh my God, the second I could drive to like Barrie, I was like, ooh, these Giant Tiger workers. Oh.
This was the plastics of Allison would work at Byway.
No, the plastics, and that's a really good segue, Jay. The plastics of Alliston shopped at a place called Marshall's, which isn't the Marshalls we know.
Oh,
Marshalls, and my friend Audrey will be in the chat, so she knows all about Marshalls. But Marshalls had like Roxy, Billabong, like the really expensive brands. And I could never, I would go in and it smelled like perfume, and it was just like the rich store where all the rich kids hung out. And I was
Well-
a giant tiger girl.
For a Jason reference, Bargain Harold's also you could get clothes, but they were like 50 cents a pair of pants. And then I found out why I got these Bermuda shorts that were like those shorts that come down to like your ankles or whatever almost, and they had like patterns of like surfers on them and stuff. And I was like, these are the best. And then I sat down on a driveway. When I stood up, the whole ass was disintegrated. It wasn't there anymore.
No.
because they were made out of paper, probably.
They were probably just made out of like I don't know dreams. And once I sat down in those pants, my dreams all went away.
Oh my God. That happened to me with a pair of Honest Ed's pajamas. I put them in the washer and then they never came out. I just don't know what happened to them. They disintegrated in the wash.
They just turned into a ghost.
Yeah, they just were like,
Back to washing machine.
goodbye.
They were just soap.
We had
so
a-
like as
yeah.
you wash them, they just clean the rest of your clothes.
We had a beautiful night together, me in those pajamas, and then we both watched 500 Days of Summer, and they realized they didn't want to be with me anymore. Yeah. Has a movie ever made you want to dump someone or given you the realization that it's over?
I mean, I brought this up before, but I know my girlfriend was over after 7 for sure. She was like, no more.
After the movie Seven?
Yeah.
7
It wasn't more. It wasn't because of the movie. It was more because I was drunk and slept through it. But, hot date.
Oh my God.
We had to sit beside a garbage can in the back of the theater. It was great.
Ooh.
This is bringing back like a lot of feelings for me. Like I remember 7, like I was in university, and I went to university in Mississauga, and at the time, like it was very foresty,
Mm-hmm.
and it was Christmas, and I was doing a play over Christmas in Mississauga. So I was like, I'm just gonna like stay in Mississauga, and then I don't have to commute. Like it was in Oakville. Anyway, and so this guy came over, and I was like, bring a movie over, like come over, like let's just watch a movie. And he brought 7, and I was
Ooh.
like alone in like this basically like cul-de-sac surrounded by a forest. And then we watched the movie, and it's terrifying. And they went, all right, see you later. And he left. And I was like, this is it. Like, this is it this is where I'm murdered.
That's shitty because here's the thing. I do not like scary movies. I don't like being scared, but it's not like, oh, I'm gonna be scared. Like I get legitimately scared. Like I'm scared of the dark. When I walk my dogs, I'm like, Burger, like try and act like, like you're big. I hate the night. I'm scared of the night. I will tell you so many drunken nights from Second City, I ran up my street after the streetcar dropped me off. I was like, and even sober now I run too. Like, no, I would dump that person. I would have dumped him.
I didn't think I was ever scared of movies, and then I watched Blair Witch Project in the theater, which before it came out, like what it was really about. But I wasn't. I was like, this isn't scary at all. But then I realized it goes. If you remember, there's day parts, and then it goes to the night where it starts. And I remember at one point being like, oh, my palms are sweating, and I'm clutching my armchairs because I'm like, I just want it to be daytime, and this movie's so bad.
I just keep thinking because last week Jason kept talking about mom's spaghetti. And he's like, my palms are sweaty. Mom's spaghetti. 8 Mile spaghetti.
1 mile spaghetti.
2 miles spaghetti. After we did that pod, I went on my Peloton and it tells you how long you've been running. And I couldn't help but think I was like, 2 miles spaghetti. Like I kept saying it to myself while I was working out because I was like, that's what I'm going to eat.
I think that
this.
mezcal hit me pretty good. Is what happened.
Well, if anyone saw me trying to end the pod, I think it was clear. You were.
I love Fashion Fridays with you guys. I love Rob Baker on this podcast so bad.
We got to get you
Yeah.
on too. We got to you got to come on with a mocktail and he'll come on with a cocktail. We got to have a 4-way chat.
I don't know. Apparently it takes a podcast to get you in to have a drink. So maybe
No, she doesn't need to drink. This
I
is
know.
okay.
I'm being a mean girl.
You are
right?
being a
That
mean.
is a mean girl.
Do you know
Please,
what
who
though,
cares?
this movie, as I was watching, not to bring it back to Mean Girls, but Jan was
please
going to tell
do.
us something about after we were talking about Southside, Tim Meadows, and we kind of jumped somewhere.
Mm.
But to bring it back to Mean Girls, as I watched this movie, the whole time I was like, Stacey's 100% right about girls and their mindset in high school, because she talks about how girls are so, they plan things out so well if they're actually like, well, there is strategy and tactics, where I think guys are just like, oh, I guess I'm fighting this guy, and then
That's
throw
it.
fists, and they're like, no thought process.
It's that great Seinfeld line. I'm a huge Seinfeld fan over here, huge sign head.
Oh,
But
me too.
there's a great line from Seinfeld where they talk about, like, George and Jerry are describing the wedgies, like atomic wedgie and subatomic wedgie. And they turn to Elaine and they're like, "Didn't you ever have these?" And she's like, "No, we just made fun of each other till someone got an eating disorder."
100%.
Right, like it's all
100%. I'll never forget, like, oh my God, I love that bracelet. Where's it from? Oh my God, that is so. And she's like, it's my grandma's, it's vintage or whatever. And she's like, oh my God, I love that. And she's like, it's the ugliest effing thing I've ever seen. It's like, I've done it. It's been done to me. You know, like I remember there was a note being passed around one of my classes, like a note, and I had a feeling it was about me because that's just me as a person. And I was like, this is about me. And then it was, and they were making fun of me that I smelled. I didn't smell, you know, but it was like, it's this mental manipulation of Mean Girls.
Is this why you have such a complex about smells now?
It might just be because, like, in my home, I literally have a sign that says, welcome, does it smell? Please tell me. And I diffuse oils almost 24/7. I'm scared.
I do think this movie was a call to action from Tina Fey to be like, ladies, let's stop doing this to each other. Why are we doing? Which is pretty on the head in the movie. I don't think she's hidden it, but I was like, this is great. It was a great movie.
This is a little bit of trivia that everybody knows, but she based this movie on like a sociology nonfiction book about girls being mean to each other. I think
my
it's
God.
called
I saw that it was based on a book, but is that
Is
the
it
book
Queen
they were
Bees?
talking about?
Queen Bees and Wannabes.
It's
Wow.
brutal. It's really like it's a lot. I mean, girls are just so, and they continue to be. I
It's
think like
just so
women are
fucking
also
smart.
mean to each other, but it's like, yeah, men just like fight it out. Like I remember in my school, like the nerd, whatever, like loser guys, whatever you want to call them, were still friends with the really popular guys, probably because they sold them weed, but also because like who cares? Like but the system with the girls, like girls owned certain guys and certain things, and you couldn't, and there was a placement, and it's all a lot.
Well, and I wonder if it's, not to get too like brainy, but I wonder too if it's like girls kind of evolutionarily
I'll take it.
to like you kind of have to fight for your position, right? Like guys fight for their position as like the head of the pack, you know, with their fists, and who's the strongest and who can bring home like the biggest beast to eat. But like women like had to fight like kind of like strategically within their pack to get that guy, right? Because like you can't tell by looking at a woman necessarily like if she's going to give you the best kids. So like there's like a lot of like
Yeah.
No, I can tell.
maneuvering.
You can tell.
Jason would always look at my hips and go, "Yep."
That's like our friend Craig, who just like just so genuinely, and not in like a perverted way, but just like really valued pregnant women. Like he just thought they were beautiful. He just thinks they're like these beautiful creatures. And I was always like, what?
I met up for a drink with an old friend one time, and I walked out of there and I'm like, she's pregnant, and there was just something about her. And then she wasn't telling people at the time. She went into the bar before us and told the bartender, I'm going to order real drinks from you, but just bring me the virgin side of it. So she didn't play it up at all. But we walked out of there and I was with my wife and I was like, she's pregnant. And then 2 months later, she was like, I was pregnant that night. And I was like, I felt it. Like,
Ew.
there was something about her. Like there was definitely an aura. I was like, God, like she was just, I don't know what it is, but I was like,
A glow.
Whoa,
I don't think it's
Jason.
low. Why do you think it's low?
I
Like,
said
that
a
means you're
glow.
saying that-
I said a glow.
Oh, a glow. Yeah.
You saying I felt it is just something. It's just
terrible.
something to me.
I know. I can't.
It's not
I feel
terrible.
like you're gonna be the fecundity whisperer. Like Jason's gonna have like a show where he's like, he just like there's a pile of women and he's like, that one.
I just sit in a CVS in the section for pregnancy tests, and I'm just like, no.
You don't need to worry about it. You
Save
don't
your
need to worry.
$15.
Yeah.
I'm $5. I'll let you know.
I'm fine.
We've got like a little Lucy Van Pelt, the psychiatrist is in stand outside the CVS.
He just tenderly embraces her hand and goes, "Congratulations."
You're not pregnant. Do you want to kick this football?
Oh my God, Jason. Oh my God. The pregnancy whisperer, says Haley in the chat. That might just be the name of this podcast, the pregnancy whisperer. I can't with it. Oh God. No thanks.
I will say this: I put out on our Instagram, well, on my own, I put out a thing today that like Jan was coming on. I've got your name,
Yes.
Emma Gerber, Jan Caruana, and our friend Sandy Joe Bevan reached out. Sore spot for him. He was, I guess, the other person being considered for Coach Carr.
Oh, he would have been a great Coach Carr.
I think he's too attractive for Coach Carr.
Yeah, because he has to be kind of a bit of a dud, right?
Yeah,
Does-
not that I mean, I'm sure that guy's a nice guy that played Coach Carr, but
I think he's like an improviser from Chicago, was he not? No, I can't remember.
that you might be talking about Neil Flynn.
Oh, the
Neil,
dad.
the dad, yeah, he was a great improviser.
Yeah.
But maybe Coach Carr was too. I don't know. But Sandy, and it made me start thinking because I've always thought about this, like the people that, I mean, Sandy still is. This wouldn't have changed his life or anything. He's done some great things, and this playing Coach Carr is not going to be whatever. But I do think about the people that were like, who was the non-Mark Hamill that maybe we didn't know, and not those people like, oh, Jennifer Aniston was going to get this, but then she didn't. But those people that you'll never know their names.
Yeah.
Like who was going to be the Luke Skywalker, but it
Oh,
was
yeah.
so close. And now where's that person today?
Yeah.
I always think
I'm
about
right
that
here.
kind of stuff.
I'm sitting right here. I'm
Yeah,
just,
I'm here too.
yeah, Jan's here. I'm here. You're certainly here, Jason. That it's us. If you're in the chat wondering who's supposed to be in the movies, it was us. We auditioned for them. We knew we weren't going to get them. It took us 2 hours to go to the audition, anyways, plus an hour and a half back, or maybe $30 if you get the cab. And guess what? It went to Mila Kunis. Okay.
And my old roommate and I used to watch television, and we'd be like we'd watch an episode of Law and Order, and there'd be like some like waiter, right? And it's like, yeah, he came in here. He made a big deal about ordering 2 Manhattans. He wanted them really dry. Like just like all the like exposition, and we'd turn to each other and be like, that's that guy's big break.
Totally.
Yeah.
That guy went home and he like told his parents, and then it's like, then maybe you don't book anything for 8 years.
100%.
But that's what people get mad at me. They're like, you didn't tell me you were going to go do that. And I was like, okay, well, it's supposed to be like going to
Well,
work. It's supposed to be.
I mean, you stop telling everyone about everything because it's all, it's mostly no's.
The one thing you get is like when you shoot a commercial, then everyone asks you, when's it on? You're like, I don't know.
Oh my God.
No
Let me
idea.
tell you. My hair just never looks good and I never look good. So I just don't tell anybody. And it's true, you guys. It's not me being like, I'm an unattractive person. Like, I'm telling you, I look brutal in all of them.
Stacey on more than one occasion has texted me a picture of herself on set going like,
And
not
you,
even words. And I'm like, you look fine. You're like, you're a beautiful woman. It'd be impossible for you to look unattractive.
and
But,
then
like, you're just like, my hair, what? Do I say something?
one of my
Impossible.
commercials.
I can send you a picture of her eating ice cream on set. No problem.
First of all, it wasn't ice cream, Jason. They made me hold lard. And they put me in a blank gray t-shirt and a men's jean short. And I booked the role of woman in the meadow. And they were like, oh no, we gave that to a model. And they were like, you're farmer market lady. And I was like, oh my God. They didn't put
I
hair.
don't know. Farmer market lady sounds pretty great. That
They said
sounds
I
like
had the- they said
a
that-
hipster Sunday.
They said I had the face of a woman who goes to the farmer's market, which I don't even know what that means. And then they didn't put makeup on me or do my hair. And
Yeah,
What's this
farmer's
for?
market face.
what? You
Farmer's
I need you to find that photo, Jason, because you need to send it to Jan.
I think it's on my Instagram account somewhere. So
I just never look great. I never look great. Ever.
What was it for? Why were you holding lard?
I can't
Mark
remember.
Andrade was in that. ad
Mark
too.
Andrade, if he's in the chat, he'll let us know. But I can't remember. I think it was like a grocery store. I can't remember which one it was. But it
no.
was what?
Nothing. Something just happened in the chat. Now
What?
I'm worried.
Well, I went to see these commercials. Jason has a reel on his website. Great. Wait, is it that?
They're all my old. This is too deep a cut, but like you don't need a commercial reel in life. I've never cut a commercial reel. You shoot commercials and they go
Okay.
to the wayside. But when I moved to Los Angeles and you had to get a new agent, they're like, we need a commercial reel. I was like, I've
Yeah.
never had. So I just had to pull up like a couple old ones and
So?
string them together. And anyways, it's on my website.
They're
But
all
they're older,
good.
like they're just like a collage of a couple ones that I used to do.
Why is that bad? My commercials
I
are
don't know.
always
I don't know. It's starting to hurt my heart.
okay. I guess
I
we'll.
said this in the chat the other day, but my mom still calls Jason the little cat.
Oh, the Whiskas commercial is so
From his
good.
Whiskas commercial.
I don't know if that one's on there or not.
It should be.
Maybe.
I'll be like, oh yeah, it's really funny. Like I got to be on like Jason and Stacy's podcast. She'd be like, oh, who's Jason? Because I know quite a few Jasons. I'm like, Jason, we did Second City together. Like we did the scene about, she remembers you because we did a scene about my dad together. And then she'll go, oh, the little cat.
Jason is a little cat. I love that.
Little cat.
I know you did.
It was great.
That was my first, I think, union gig ever, actually, and which was so long ago. But I literally got it from. I went in there and used Will Ferrell as an inspiration because you remember he does that in his audition for Saturday Night Live. He plays around as a cat. I was like, cool. Like I'm just gonna ride around like a cat.
See, those auditions make me sad. Like I remember in LA, it was one of my lower moments where I had to drive an hour and a half to this audition, and then it was for a mattress company. For a commercial, and they wanted me to just dance, and and I went in
down here.
and I refused and I left. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. And then I got back in my car and I drove another hour and a half back to my fucking shitty LA apartment, and
that was here, yeah, because that was like my first 3 auditions out here, and I'm not kidding. Like
they're like,
there's
dance.
just like, come on in, and they're like, you're a dad.
Yep.
And your kid's there and they're trying to like coax you in, and you're just like, and then you turn into like the best dad dancer and you're like, okay.
No, I go, no, I won't be doing that. Okay. You know what's okay. Sorry. I feel like we're just talking about commercials now, but and also in LA, there was it was another mattress company. Fuck them. Although send me them. But they wanted you to be in lingerie, but like, when you audition for commercials, you don't really dress up. Like you just don't. Like I've never, if they're like, hey, we need nurses. Like, you have to come in your scrubs. I'm like, no. Anyways, showed up and everyone was in lingerie, and they were so mad that I was not in lingerie. And then they kept saying to me they needed to find my perfect match because I was all models and me basically dressed like this. Mm-hmm. And then they had to wait for a man who was just like a big beefy delight, who I thought was attractive, but they were like, these two schlubs will go in together. And we had to lay on a mattress together. And they were so mad I wasn't in slinky lingerie.
That bugs me because it's like every time you audition for a doctor or whatever, like not as much now, but you'll go in and you'll see people who are like in full scrubs or in full lab coat.
Totally.
And I get it.
But it's not expected, which is crazy.
But it's crazy because like who's putting, I guess if you've been doing it long enough, you've just got all the stuff.
No.
But I refuse. Like I'm not wearing a lab coat.
But to your point, like,
oh yeah,
they're not going to be like, oh, she came without a lab coat. But so why are they doing it with the lingerie stuff?
Yeah.
It just makes them.
I think it's because they want to check out certain things about you that they can't be. It's like when they're like, hey, you're at a like pool party, so come in your bathing suit. I'm like, no, I'm going to come in a full suit and tie, and you can just imagine what the hell's going on.
It's
Pretend
true. I'm sort of the opposite in those auditions.
Yeah.
They're like,
Diane Keaton at the pool.
We know this is touchy. You don't have to take your shirt off if you don't.
That's you. That's you, Jason.
But you do that just kind of
happened
like it's
twice, I think. What's that?
That's de rigueur for Jason. So you just kind of go like, hey, I was thinking about shirts the other day, and yours is off.
Oh yeah. My favorite memory is your lovely wife, Jason. One time, like we were talking, we were at like I think a closing party, or I can't remember what it was, but it was at Second City, and she was like, like it's time to move on, or like I can't remember. She was like referencing like we all got to grow up and leave sometime or something, and we both looked over to you, and you were dancing like this and like smacking your belly, and you were shirtless. It was my most favorite memory. And I was like, yeah, he's almost 40. He's done cooking.
This is what's come out of the oven. It ain't changing.
It's out of the oven and it's shirtless by choice. And his
That's Jason's biography title, his autobiography.
shirtless by choice.
Shirtless by choice.
He's at an office, so he's sitting at a desk, and he's got a tie, but he's shirtless. And then you
Yeah.
know where those signs that say "I'm a boss"? His says "I'm a loser." He's just on the because that's what he would think about himself. Do you know what I mean?
No, my mug would say world's best miss. That's what it would say.
Yeah, that's
You're like,
true.
oh, they didn't charge me because they misprinted it.
World's
Good
best
mug.
mid manager.
It's a mid manager.
Not to go back to Second City, but I just want to expose the brilliance of Jason DeRoss. We did a Torco sketch called "Reach for the Middle," and it was all about being mediocre. And I still quote Jason's line, "My book club only reads magazines."
Hell
That
yeah.
was my stuff.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I want to join that book club for sure. Please.
I remember writing
feel-
that show. That show was really great.
It's fun. I feel like Stacey, you started that book club. How's your reading going?
Thank you for asking. It's going really great. I've been reading 2 books because I'll get tired of one. So I've been reading Educated, which a lot of people told me to read. Dark,
So
deep.
brutal.
Yeah, really, really tough. But everyone, it's weird when people go, "You'll love this book," and I reading it, and I'm like, "I would."
I never say that to people. I'm always like, this is a very hard read, but it's a good book.
It's really good. And then I've been balancing it with Abby Jacobson's book about from Broad City, and she like goes on this road trip and essentially like finds herself. And it's have you read it?
No. I think you were talking about it at some point.
Yeah, I really, really like it. It's like her by herself for 3 weeks, but it's also like her. I really relate to it because it's like she kind of describes herself as like a hopeless romantic. And I think in many ways, like I am too. And then what happens is like you put your eggs in this dramatic basket and then like nothing turns out in the way that your mind is like, oh, it should be like this. So I'm just like really relating to it. And it's nice. Although I could never go on a road trip because like you have to drive so long by yourself. And like, what are you going to do in the night when you go to the motel? You're going to get murdered. So not happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm loving my Kindle. It's really great.
Does it do anything else except books?
It just does books, which is nice because if I had an iPad at this point, I'd be like on all the things. And it's lightweight and you just hold
does
it.
Animal Crossing work on an iPad?
No, and you know what? Honestly, sometimes I need a break. Like I'm like, they're giving me so much fucking shit on the island. Like I can't even deal with it. So I need a break.
When you're on an island,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
are you so like because you've got these other friends that are being treated nice and getting given wallpaper and stuff by their
Yeah.
neighbors?
Yeah.
Are those people on the same island as you, or do you have to go visit their island?
I have people on my island. I also have people on different islands, but people are like friends. And I'm like, hey, so on my Instagram, I'm like, hey, how are people getting like cute things? And some people are like, oh, I just was given them. Or like someone dropped it off for me. And I'm like, what? Why is my island different than everyone else's island?
I think it listens like Google. Google just listens and they're like, "This is Stacy. We gotta give her nothing."
Yeah.
But this is real Lord of the Flies shit. Like you get to set up your own island and be like, "These are the people that are on it, and this is how this is gonna be our rules of this island."
Well, here's my
That's
question to both
crazy.
of you. You're not playing, but I would be curious. A, what would you call your island? Is what I want to know. And what would be like the 3 things you would need on the island?
That's a great question.
I know.
I
Like
think
when
I would
you
try to
say
disguise my
need-
island. Like I would call it something like Junkyard Paradise, and you'd be like, "Well, is it good or is it bad?"
I love that. Junkyard Paradise is great. And what would you call yours, Jan?
Oh, it'd be something like sicky and cute. Like it'd be like Cupcake Town or something.
Love that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Something better.
And
Like
that's
I'd think about it more. But
That's because too, though, because we haven't brought this up yet. So maybe there's people that are listening to this for the first time. I don't know, but Jen Caruana is 2 little sandwiches, which we
2
haven't brought up yet.
little sandwiches that we need to talk about. Yeah, that would be your name on the island. Mine's just Stacy. There's no imagination. I want people to know I am who I am, and I'll be that till I die. Come into my house. There's
This
carpet
is-
by choice.
this is why you're getting shit presents.
No one wants to send anything to a Stacy. They want to send it to
No,
like
it's just like Stacy. It's like
Yeah.
it's like no frills.
totally. And when they do talk to me, they're like, "Hey, Stacy, like I tried to donate something to the museum," and the guy was like, "I'm a night owl. Like this is the day," and I'm like, Do you want my ladybug or not? Come
I
on.
love this. I think I kind of now it's crazy because I wanted to avoid this at all costs, but now I think I don't think I
It's
can
fun.
avoid it.
But Two Little Sandwiches, you have really been inspiring so many people. Like, I have to say, there's some in the chat that are huge fans. If you haven't followed Two Little Sammies yet, go to Instagram, Two Little Sandwiches. You even inspired me. I now text you all the time when I'm cooking food. I made food last night. It completely inspired by you, ultimately, forever. How is it
That
feeling?
makes me so happy.
Yeah. But like you're like on your Instagram now, on your stories, I'm noticing there's a lot of shares of people being like, I was inspired to do this, or like Two Little Sandwiches made me want to do this. And like, that's so great.
Plus,
Yeah.
didn't I see a story from Stacy last night? Did you bake some pasta again?
I made a baked gnocchi, but I was very fortunate that I was given some stuffing from Two Little Sammy's herself and gave me a bag of it. And I made stuffing with my roasted chicken that Jan walked me through basically. And then I took the leftover stuffing and made it as breadcrumbs on top of the gnocchi bake.
Wow,
Yeah, it was
that's amazing.
it was next level.
It was inspired.
Stuffing
Stacey, I think.
breadcrumbs is insane.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
you've been
so
putting fucking
tasty.
Cheetos and Doritos. You're Dorito City over there. So I did stuffing city. But how is it
I did with
feeling?
what I had, and I don't even know why we have Doritos and stuff here, but we do. We have Cheetos because it's the only treat that Charlie will eat other than lollipops.
Well,
Oh
That's
my God, that's so cute.
it
Hates
is.
chocolate, hates chips, like hates all of it. But like Cheetos loves and lollipops. That's it.
Simple man.
What more do you need?
Before we, because I know we're probably coming close.
Well,
to
I
the
asked
end,
Jan a question, so I was just wondering if she could answer it.
Oh,
Did
sorry,
I?
I didn't
Sorry.
hear it.
Oh, well, it's okay. No, I was just saying, like, how is it feeling while you're in quarantine? Like, are you feeling like this? I feel like more than ever people are baking and cooking, and I'm seeing that on your Instagram that you're sharing that a lot of people are inspired. So, like, how's it going for you over at the Two Little Sammy's headquarters?
It's going pretty well. I'm actually trying to. So for a while, I didn't have any flour, so I wasn't
Whoa.
baking anything because we couldn't get flour. But I'm trying not to bake quite so much because if you bake it, you eat it. And
Yeah.
normally when I bake, I have the luxury and the pleasure of like just giving it out, like taking it to shows, and people can eat cookies and whatever. But so now I'm just trying to help us eat a little bit better, and like because I put on a jacket the other day and I was like, oh, am I wearing a sweater? So
Yeah.
so yeah, but it's going well here, and we're just ticking along. Oh, there's Charlie. Hi,
Charlie.
Charlie. We're ticking along here pretty well. And and Jason, because I feel like we've always kind of like Stacey brings up gnocchi quite a lot. I feel like you really got to try a lot, like too much. I really feel like you got to try the ricotta gnocchi.
Yes.
Because it's just like you just get some ricotta cheese, some egg, and some flour, and then it's just like the inside of a ravioli without the outside.
Oh my
And it's
God.
so good.
I want that.
Ricotta, egg, and flour.
Yeah.
See, I think I like gnocchi so much because you can just literally throw it in your pot and then it's done in like 2 seconds. And so it's just really nice. But I am planning on making a turkey sausage goulash tonight. So that is what is on deck, which is just like diced tomatoes and like a bunch of veggies and then sausage stewed in there on some rice.
That sounds delicious.
It's really good. My worry though, I don't really like cooking meat because I don't know when it's done. But I figure if I put it in the sausages in the oven for like 45 minutes, they're for sure done. Right?
Well, if you're making a goulash, aren't you just chopping them up anyway?
Oh, I've never even thought to. I've always done full sausages, but maybe I'll just chop them up.
Chop them up, they're done in seconds.
Yeah. That's what I'll do.
You can see if they're done.
Because I like to brown them first really quickly. Maybe I'll brown them, cut them, then throw them in. No?
Yeah. You can do it either way. There's no wrong answer here. That's
Thank
the best.
you.
That's the nice thing about cooking.
Well, that's the thing about your Instagram that I love so much. And then it's like, not only that, but it's so nice to wake up because I feel like you are a full businesswoman, CEO. So like the posts are when you should be waking up. And I always wake up to like a little reminder to be gentle to myself and kind to myself and compassionate. And, you know, and I feel like we're often not that way. And especially nowadays with the pandemic, it's an emotional roller coaster. You know what I mean? What?
Jen, I
Jason,
have to bring this up. I'm
what's
sorry to
happening?
cut it off, but we have someone new to the chat online. And Beth, just so you know, me and Jen were literally talking about our first audition together for Second City, and Beth Kligerman is in the chat
Oh, hi,
Oh, that's so
and
Beth.
says,
nice.
two little sandwiches, all exclamation marks, all capital letters, and yes, you bake, you eat.
Oh,
So
hell yes.
so beautiful. My heart's warm right now from
Oh
having
my
Beth in the chat.
God,
I
you
think.
are tender
Yeah.
today, Jay. I just want to put you in like a little like
There's a few ladies here, Jen Caruana and Beth, two ladies that make my heart warm any day.
what the
Stacey can give that
freaking
face all she wants. Go hang out on your island.
Are you Biff? I have a feeling that you might be secretly playing as Biff on my
I'm
island.
every single computer character on your island.
He's giving me
I
such attitude.
I feel like I need to do some private counseling with you guys later.
I
feel like
happily would love to. I would love to.
Well, this is week, I think, 5 for us going in. So like this is we've passed a month.
We've
Yeah.
We're
passed a
going at it.
month. I think we're doing great. Don't you think?
you
I
guys
think
are
we're doing
doing great. I just want to say, like, I know I've told you both of this separately, but I feel like it needs to be said publicly. Like, you guys are doing such a public service
Oh my
because
God.
I tune in every day. You're like the bright spot of my day. You've really, I think, like, and chime in on the chat if you can. Like, you've really done a lot to help us kind of see the light side of things and keep things light in
Oh
some
my
very
God.
heavy times. So I just wanted to say thank you.
Jan, I'm gonna let that land, but like, oh my God, you are such
it
a sweet
land, lean
treasure.
in.
No, but I think that you bring that to so many people, and so it's like to have you say that really means a lot to me because you really are like the shining, brightest, warmest light in my entire life, and I adore you so much. So take
Listen, we
that,
just-
Jason. What are you gonna say to her? I bet you it's second
I
best.
was just gonna say, Audrey did just wants it spelled out. How does Stacey make your heart feel?
She's such a good friend and like teacher and like caregiver. But Jan, I wanted to say one more time because we're kind of coming to the end. I wanted to go to like promo city for you. And I wanted you to promote your Jeopardy stream, which is so wonderful and great.
Thank you.
And I want everyone to go and watch it. But I'm gonna put a little screen up for you, which is just full promo city. We can follow Jan. First of all, you look so damn cute. And this painting behind you is one of my favorite things in your entire
Yeah.
home. It's like when I think of your house, I think of this like beautiful, like cherub girl with this veil, and I can't.
This was given to me by someone I went to theater school with.
I love it.
That's
Her
so
name
nice.
her name is Tiffany Arner, and she painted it, and it hung in the theater where we would do plays, and people would ask if this was me. It's not. But then she gifted me this lovely painting, and it's been with me ever since. And I've never talked about it more than the 5 weeks of this pandemic.
Oh, really? Because you're zooming everyone.
So
Everyone's
everybody's
like,
like,
"What's
"What,
going
what?"
on?" It's the best. I will say the saddest thing about this pandemic currently is that we don't get to watch you perform, and
Oh.
that makes me really sad because it's like but a treasure. And I need Jason to move back to Canada so you guys can perform together, and I
I-
can sit in the audience and go, "Why wasn't I asked to be on this show?"
This morning, because I read books that Charlie will eat his breakfast, and we have one book called Toronto ABC,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like as it sounds, it's like the first letter of the alphabet is like the AGO, and then you look at the AGO,
Mm-hmm.
and it was not that I don't miss my friends and everything, but it really hit home this morning. I was like, oh, going through all of like the little landmarks of Toronto, and some of them are like old Fort York and stuff. And I'm like, so I had to explain to him we used to live right beside there, and I was like, this is the
Aw.
tower we could see from our window,
Mm-hmm.
and it was kind of like it was a
You're
little
missed.
melting in my heart a little bit this
Well,
morning.
Toronto's
miss you,
always
Jason.
yeah. Toronto is always here to just like wrap you up in its arms, throw you into a commercial where you play a little kitty cat and you melt everyone's heart. But
You wait 3 hours for brunch.
oh my God. Well, that's the kind of nice thing like with cooking and especially with your Instagram, it has pushed me to be like, because I've just been craving like a burger. Like I really just want A&W. But I have stuff to make a burger. So I'm like, do I just like 2 little sandwiches like my desires here and just make a little burger instead of an A&W?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, you do.
I had like I made my own fruit jam and put it on waffles this weekend.
Ooh, wow,
Yes.
you're really getting it done over there.
I mean, I have the time. I need, I get nagged on my island or I'm making food for myself. I can't help it. So Jan, one more time, where can we find you and your stream?
You can find the Jeopardy show called There's Always Jeopardy with Pat and Jan. We go live on Twitter, actually. If you follow me on Twitter, you
Yes.
can watch it at 6:30, or you can just punch There's Always Jeopardy into YouTube and you can watch all the episodes. We've had Seth on the show previously. He'll be on again today. You can also follow me at Jan Caruana on Twitter and Instagram, and Two Little Sandwiches if you like to eat and cook.
Which we
And
do.
I know this is out of order, and Stacey's trying to end the podcast, but I guess my brand right now is let's not end the podcast.
We don't need to end the podcast.
We won't.
Okay.
We won't go through all the dumb stories today, but I just have one, so I'm gonna do an express dumb story because of Two Little Sandwiches.
But listen,
being
I'm
here.
happy to do it. I don't have
I know,
a family. Okay, cool.
I am desperately alone.
Yes,
This
I'm
is
alone.
my Russian iceberg that I'm floating on. But there is a story. I'll do it very quickly. It's called. The headline is "Recipe for Disaster."
Okay.
In Vietnam, they're embracing kitchen nightmares on lockdown, and everybody there's this group where they're just posting all of their like decimated attempts at baking and stuff. And it's pretty funny. They're all like, I think the quote from the maker of it was, I think when there are groups showing delicious dishes in nice homes, we should also have some place where people can share their failures so that people can feel comfortable being themselves.
Well, you know what? I'm very pro that because like everything I make doesn't always turn out, and I'm like quite open about that. And yeah, you have to embrace your failures for sure, and oftentimes they're very funny.
I just realized if you know how like they say, I don't know if everyone's told you this before in life, and
What?
it's gone to the
What did you
wayside.
just
But like
say?
when you're like, oh, I want to have an idea for a TV show, and they're like, well, take two references of like it's like Seinfeld meets whatever. I think that this lady's quote is just like if you take Two Little Sandwiches in this podcast and put it together, two dented cans bacon. There it is.
Well,
But
it's
you guys have made delicious things. You shouldn't sell yourself short.
well, I'll tell you this. I think I can cook. I think I can be way better, but cooking is no problem because like if you oversalt or there's too much pepper or it's not flavorful enough, there's like things midway that you can change. But baking is so stressful. And I've said this before once, twice, thrice, is like you put those cookies in and then those cookies come out and they taste like like when I made that chickpea cookie dough, ruined my Vitamix stick. I was like, this tastes like poo. There's no saving this.
that was a mistake from the beginning.
100%.
Like that's not like those like healthy cookie things. Like they're never going to taste as good as a cookie.
No.
But like
Preach.
you have said that before, but as I always say, there's very little that you can take out of the oven as like a baked treat that can't be saved by either like putting some peanut butter on it or dunking it in milk.
That's true. That's true.
Just covering it
Yeah.
in chocolate.
Covered in chocolate.
Yeah.
It'll hide all the sins.
A friend of mine from my childhood, they have this like incredible farm, and all these like sisters are now doing this farmer's market, and it's incredible. And they make baked goods and stuff, and they made the Mamafuko birthday cake.
How
And I
did
was-
it turn out?
Gorgeous. Like I was
Yeah.
tempted to send you the photo. I mean, it's
Oh, wonderful.
it's so good.
Yeah.
I mean, that cake I think about all the time. I think that it's time. I think we got to do it again. It's quarantine
Well,
time.
maybe when I reach 2,000 followers. we
Oh,
can do another
every
crazy
1,000
bid.
we make another Mamafuko birthday cake.
Yeah. Or
Hell yeah.
Maybe the crack pie.
Oh my God, I would love crack pie. Also, you're close to 2,000 followers. Don't think I'm not noticing the growth.
Thank you.
You're damn close to 2,000 followers. That's huge.
I owe you guys a lot because I feel like you pump me so hard and I love it.
I'm like happy to pump and like I can't and shan't stop. I mean, I'm just
And I'm like,
yeah.
We're only honest on this podcast.
Did you fall asleep, Jason? Are you back?
Brutally honest. What?
It looked like you kind of like zoned out. You were just kind of like, and then you came back
me?
into frame. Yeah.
I started zoning out about 5 weeks ago.
He's getting so feisty. I'm loving this.
shirtless by choice.
Shirtless by choice. You were a big supporter of Jason and I writing each other's memoirs chapter by chapter, and I would really like to start doing that.
I think if we go to 8 weeks, like
Yeah.
if it's 8 weeks and there's no end in sight, like you guys need to do it.
We'll join like
Yeah.
Wattpad. Isn't that like an online thing? And we'll write each other's memoirs chapter by chapter. Yeah. Yeah. Jane, you'll have to think of the title.
I'd be there for it.
My first brainstorm, his and hers. I don't know. let's think of memoir names. Jason, do you have anything else that you want to talk about before I conclude?
I don't think so. I was because this week we're gonna have Casual Friday back on Friday again as always. Other than that, we're hoping to get a couple other surprises going on. So no, not much else. Just so great that everybody's here and everybody, I hope, had a good weekend, safe weekend.
The best. And Jan, we want to thank you for for indulging us in some Mean Girls chat. You truly are so funny, and everyone needs to, if you haven't watched the movie, go back and just celebrate
Is there anything
Jan.
that you thought of before this podcast that you're like, oh, I really wanted to say this about Mean Girls that we didn't get out today?
Just that it was like such a really special time, and it's like such a special movie to people, and like you guys were so kind to be like, do you want to talk about it? Is it okay? And it's like that movie, how can I be anything but honored when someone asks me to speak about something they love? So
well,
I had a great experience, and I hope people really still love the movie.
Well, they do. And I think it's because like we saw, like, especially as like, a layered young gal as we all are, I just feel like that movie was so special. And I think we remember it because like the people talked how we talked, and they said things how we said them, and they were offensive, and they weren't right, and they were like fucked up and dark and weird, and you just kind of feel really seen. And everyone, like, I think the casting is really great because people looked normal. Like I was like, oh, I went to school with her, or that looks like my friend, or you know what I mean? Yeah. So I think it's really special, and I think that's why, like, even when I saw Steph Drummond, I remember seeing you perform, and I was like, she's a wonderful queen. And then I was in a room with Steph, and I was like, oh my God, like that, you provided us senses of normalcy. I think that's really special in a movie. I think that's why everyone's like turning to like movies and old shows they loved now, because it's like we're looking for comfort.
Absolutely.
Wow. Reading 2 books has changed me.
You're like a freaking Dorothy Parker over here.
I can't wait to
You're
Google
also the
her.
queen of an island.
I'm not a queen.
Stacey Island.
I own the island, but I still think I'm the jester.
Haley said back in 2014 they had a 10th anniversary viewing party of Mean Girls with all her friends.
Oh my God. Because what year did it come out?
I guess 2004.
Yeah. Because I remember I remember getting the call that I got the part in 2003 because I was in London at the Comedy Awards.
Whoa.
We lost the awards, but I got that part.
That would have been right around the time we probably did this audition together. It was right around that time, probably.
It might have been, yeah, because I started improvising in 2001.
2001 is when you started? Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was late. I was a late baby.
You're truly one of the best improvisers in the entire land.
Come on.
I mean, listen, how many times have you nominated and won a Canadian Comedy Award? Millions.
No, just 2.
We are parallel because like we won the same year together too.
And Stacey won that year too in Ottawa.
Hello.
Breakout artist or something?
Breakout artist, and I thanked people as if it was televised.
Oh my God.
I grabbed my award and ran off that stage as fast as I could.
Yes, you did. And then you were like, let's get drunk when you were backstage. Remember that? That was a really good time. I got potato on my award because they had potatoes there. That was what was served.
Yeah.
Keep us humble. Okay, now we're drifting. Now we're just talking and reminiscing. I'm getting us out of here. Everyone follow Jan, 2 Little Sandwiches on Instagram. Thank you so much for chatting with us. Jason, is there anything else? Say this again.
No, you already asked me.
I know I already asked you this, but you keep finding new stuff.
I love everybody.
Okay,
So
and
nice.
if you're listening to this podcast and you want to watch it, you can join us. We go live every day at 12:30 weekdays. And if you're like, oh, I don't have time to do that, you can watch them later because we keep them up. And it's nice, and you should watch it because we make nice thumbnails for them. Anyways, we love you all. Thanks, everyone, for being in the chat. And we will see you all tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye. Do we end it now?